Welcome to another video. Normally I would say welcome my special educators, my island special educators, and I think it gave a bit of a confusion as to, are you doing this only for special educators or is it for like everybody? Really and truly, these videos are for everyone. They're for parents, they're for the students, they're for teachers, they are for special educators, they are for persons who are just interested in special education in the Jamaican school system, especially special education in the secondary system in Jamaica. And so when I say island special educators, I'm referring to everybody on this island who are interested in special education, and I guess everybody everywhere else as well who really has an interest in knowing what special education is like here in Jamaica. So welcome my island special educators, and today we will be doing drum roll please. We will be doing teaching nonverbal students, and we will also be looking at 3 online websites that can aid the teaching and learning process at home. All right, or even for teachers if they would like to use these websites or sites to give additional work for students to do at home. All right. So the first thing we'd want to do today is to look at teaching nonverbal students. And this could have actually taken up a whole video on its own, but we will not be actually creating any of the things that we're talking about today, and that might come in another video. So, teaching nonverbal students. I was approached with, I think, 3 separate cases of students within classrooms who are not talking. They're nonverbal, meaning they do not use English, French, Spanish. They do not use their vocal cords. They do not use their tongues to communicate. All right. So in these cases, these students children might tap or hit or bite or cry or laugh or jeer or just move in a different way to express what they would really want to do or what they want to happen, or point, right? So today we'll be talking a little bit about that. Now, for a non-verbal student in a classroom, there needs to be some structure for parent and student, or parent and child, or teacher and student to really communicate. Because as an adult, you would have been using your language, your first language, which is English, and you're speaking, so you're vocal. And the thing is, students who are mute or deaf or just, they don't communicate using the spoken language. And so we have to create a means of communicating with these persons. All right, so I'm going to give 2 ways to communicate with a non-verbal child. And the obvious one is sign language, or Jamaican sign language. And I would say that a lot of persons think that it might be difficult to learn a new language, but Jamaican sign language is fun. I would recommend anybody to go ahead and do Jamaican sign language or learn Jamaican sign language. There are companies, there are persons out there who really go about teaching Jamaican sign language, and as such, you can really just go ahead, sign up to a class, and learn Jamaican Sign Language. And I think even if you do not have anybody directly around you who is nonverbal or who is deaf, that you should still learn the language, because persons from the deaf community are in our environments every day, and it is important for us to be able to communicate with them. And so even right now I am doing sessions with PA, and I would recommend them to anybody. They are currently doing online sessions, level 1 and level 2 in Jamaican Sign Language, and I would recommend anybody to go ahead and sign up with PA. They are on Instagram, and if you need to check them out, you should definitely go ahead and do that. All right, so learn sign language, and it's not difficult, because if it is that this child, you'd like to communicate with this child, first and foremost, what you need to do is to get down basic signs. So your yes, your no's, your bathroom, your food, or I'm hungry, or I'm thirsty, or whatever it is that you would need, the needs first. And then if you say, okay, this is the sign for 1 and this is what number 1 looks like, it is at that point you can say yes or no, do you understand? So different things like that. It's important for you to get down the basics first, and then you would be able to build on that language to communicate more with the child. So the very first one in terms of teaching a student who is nonverbal is Jamaican Sign Language. And I did say Jamaican Sign Language because we're in Jamaica. You can learn the language as well as at the same time as you are teaching the language. Okay, so our second way, number 2, our second way of communicating with a nonverbal student is to create a communication board. And I said create. Yes, there are softwares and apps that you can download to use on your different devices to turn them into communication devices. However, that might prove to be expensive, and we know a yard with it, we don't got no money. All right, so what I'm going to do is to suggest that we do create a communication board. No, all we need to do to create a communication board is have a piece of cardboard, layer it, and within those layers we can have pictures of the simple things that we need, and then we can also have a pencil case of other cards that we can also change out and put into the communication board to make it accessible throughout certain times of the day. So if it is in the morning when you know your child is getting ready for school, on the communication board you'd only have pictures and words of things that you do in the morning. So you'd have a picture of breakfast, you'd have a picture of brushing them teeth, you'd have a picture of praying if you are a religious family, which you, hallelujah. Okay, so if you're a religious family, you definitely have a picture of prayer in the morning, breakfast, water, brush teeth, put on your clothes, whatever it is. So those would already be on the communication board for the morning. When they're leaving out, they would change those out, and again, the child would always have the communication board, the other tiles with them. Because you don't want to create a big board that is heavy for the child. You could probably create it in the size of a book or a notebook, and that should be easy for them to carry around with them, and then a pencil case in their bag with all the other pictures, little cards of notes that they definitely use throughout the day. So in the morning, you'd have a part on a communication board or a card on a communication board for devotion, prayer, line up, and this part the teacher would probably help alongside the parent to create all the cards that this student would need. And so you could create a communication board for that student. The benefits though of having a communication board that is technologized, or that is technology based, is it would also have the audio alongside the pictures. And so it would prove beneficial just because with the audio, the student is also hearing what is being said, or what it looks like, what the action looks like for what is being said. And so even if they do not repeat the words verbally and they should hear them out there, they would now know, okay, yes, this is what they expect me to do, or this is what this means. And so that is just a benefit of having the software downloaded onto a device, or an app downloaded onto a device, as compared to if you have to make the communication board by yourself or on your own. All right, so as we said, communicating with a nonverbal student, JSL, or we can do communication devices. And so we move on to apps or websites, or different things that we can use, or different websites that we can use to aid in our teaching and learning process throughout this online home social distancing type things. So today I have three websites that we can use, and these are very obvious, but they are also very helpful, and if you utilize them properly, they can be very resourceful. Now, two of these three, well, technically all three of them, but two of the three are really websites that you can use to create content, create manipulatives and content for your student or child to really use at home. So depending on the topic, whenever you search within these websites, you would be able to create fun activities, or you would be able to gain content to share with these students. Okay, so the very first, and I'm going to move from the one that I love the most to the one that everybody knows. All right, so the very first one that I would love to share with you is Pinterest. Now, Pinterest is my all-time favorite app for everything. It's in Google Play Store and you download it, and there is a website for it as well, but Pinterest has everything. everything is on Pinterest. And when you go on Pinterest, there you can find games, activities based on a topic, based on your subject, based on just icebreakers. Everything is on Pinterest. And so if it is that you need a website where you can get fun activities that you can incorporate into your classroom, into your day-to-day life with your child, if it is that you want to help them to study, Pinterest will be able to teach you as a parent or as a teacher, because teachers don't know everything. And you can also be able to relay that to your students. Okay, so now that we've gone past my favorite, we can go on to Teachers Pay Teachers. This is a website that I have heard about, or this is a website that I heard about from another YouTuber. I can't say another YouTuber, I'm not a YouTuber yet. This is a website that I heard about from a YouTuber. I watch her channel. Her name is Braylon, and she has a channel called That Special Educator. And you guys can go ahead and watch her channel because it is very informative. It isn't really relating to Jamaican situation, but it can also help because she's a very organized person. It is amazing how organized she is. I don't think I can ever get there, but she's encouraged. She really gives me a feel of, I remember why I love special education, you know? And she makes me feel like, yes, special educators are the bomb, and we got this because we are the bomb, and because we got this. All right, so That Special Educator is a very good channel for persons who are interested in organizing special education classrooms to go ahead and check out. And if it is that you're a parent and you need to gain some more information on what it is that special education is, and that what your child is really doing at school and so on, her channel really does that. And so as we move on, Teachers Pay Teachers is a website that I heard from her channel, and when you go on it, you can really find worksheets and other resources to use. Doesn't matter which topic. I mostly see math and English, of course, which is natural, I guess. So you can use math, English, and reading, and other subjects are there as well, and they can really be used. They really break things down. They also have manipulatives for the different subject area, or even classroom management. And so that website is a very good website to use. Again, it's Teachers Pay Teachers, so it's not really free, but a lot of the things on there are reasonable. And even if you do not want to buy the things on there, it is somewhere where you can go and get ideas as to what you could possibly do. And I don't think that's illegal to go ahead and view, because it's the same thing that you do on Pinterest, really. Go and get the ideas of what you can actually do for your child or students. All right. And then my third and final website that I would like to share with us all today is YouTube. Alright, so I know lots of teachers already use YouTube in their day-to-day lessons, you know, incorporating technology and all. But even at home, parents, you can use YouTube as well, because at the end of the day, it is accessible. Most of the data plans here in Jamaica will give you YouTube free of charge. And so if you do have a little data and you want to say, okay, go and watch this YouTube video on the topic that you're doing right now in classes, you can go ahead and do that. And there are some videos that are a little bit advanced, there are some videos that are a little bit difficult, but they're also the really easy ones. And sometimes what we need to do is to really get an understanding of the fact that even if it says grade 3, some of the times a lower grade class on the same topic can actually be better for a student. And that is because a lot of the times what you would expect to be able at a grade 3 level to cover is probably advanced for that particular student. And so if you go to a lower level and research the same topic, or reword it to search for something similar, but that's exactly what you're searching for, you could be able to actually gain the content or the information that you are searching for. And so that is it. That is it for today. So today we covered teaching nonverbal students, and there are 2 ways to do that: utilizing JSL or utilizing communication devices, and you can always create your own communication device. And we also covered 3 websites that you can use to create content or to create activities or manipulatives for your classroom. Number 1 is Pinterest, number 2 is Teachers Pay Teachers, and number 3 is YouTube. Okay, so bye guys, shalom, have a blessed day, my island special educators.